thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Robert Gabriel. I'm going to be your host. This is my contact information, and this is just a disclaimer. Anything you learn in this seminar or any other seminar, you need to verify the information yourself. MicroWise cannot be held responsible for any loss of revenue or data. This is the agenda for today. We're going to talk about claim status, the difference between claim rejections and claim denial. We're going to talk about the best practices for deductible season, how to reduce your rejection rates, and what is the best practice to follow up on your rejection and deny. The AR tracker. Then we want to talk about the medical staffing, if eligible. So let's get started here. Before I get into this here, claims management, is I want to make sure that everybody, no matter what clearinghouse you're using, you have some kind of portal to your clearinghouse. So the portal to the clearinghouse should look something like this. Okay, so this is real data. I'm not going to dig in for HIPAA reason. So when you log into your account, you should be able to see the claims that you submitted. Now I can narrow this down to today's date. So, and I can see all the claims I submitted today. So this is for the last 30 days. This practice submitted 340 clean claims. They're all in green, and 37 claims were rejected. So over here, it just tells you the number of claims were submitted, the denial. So now let's talk about the difference between denial and rejections. So rejections, it's clearinghouse level. What does that mean? Maybe you submitted the claim more than once, or like a duplicate claims, or maybe the information that the clearinghouse has doesn't match what the payer has. So the clearinghouse can can reject the claim before it goes out to the clearinghouse. And I also have Kim from MicroWise on the call with us. So Kim, you're an expert in this, so you please feel free to jump in if you need to add something or you need to correct something I'm talking about. Of course, I respect your feedback, and you're doing a great job in this department. So that's the difference between denial and rejections. So denial is insurance company level. So that means the clearinghouse sent it to the insurance company, and the insurance company responded. So that's the denial. So if I click on this, I will see more information about that denial claim. And rejected, it just means the clearinghouse stopped it and didn't go through because of something missing, wrong MPI, or missing something that doesn't match, maybe the edit for the CPT and diagnosis don't match, or anything like that. This gets stopped by the scrubber or from the clearinghouse. You need to be careful with that. Everybody should be able to have a portal like this with your clearinghouse to kind of like to use this on a daily basis. So I can change this maybe for the stuff that I sent today. So maybe I want to do maybe this week. So maybe I want to do any claims that were submitted between, let's say, Monday and today. And if you click on the search, you should be able to see. So you get the idea. Is you're able to filter for a particular date or just one date. Then you will be able to see the clean ones in green and the red ones in red, which is the rejected claims. Now, just be very careful with the duplicate claims. So if you submit them today and it get rejected by the clearinghouse for whatever reason, then you fix something and you submitted it, but you didn't make enough changes for the clearinghouse to consider it as a different claim. So you can be getting a duplicate claim rejections. And I see a lot of people, they lose a lot of money in this area where they think, oh, the claim is a duplicate. So one of my duplicate is going to make it through and it fell through the cracks and it doesn't go anywhere because you thinking that you already sent it. That's why it's duplicate, and the clearinghouse stops it and doesn't let you send it because you did not make enough changes on the claim for the claim to be considered as a new claim. And also that can happen with the denial. Insurance company comes back and say this is duplicate because there was nothing that made it clear to the insurance company that this is a fixed claim or corrected claim. So you have to be very careful with that. So any questions in this area here? So the next area that I'm going to talk about is the claim status manual, which is something that everybody should do. If your Lytec does not look like this, maybe you do for an upgrade. So let's talk about this. So if I'm going to go here and billing, I'm going to click on the AR tracker. So the AR tracker is going to have, now this is just the dummy data. There's not enough data here. I apologize for that. For obvious reason, I cannot show you real data. And what this is going to show you is all the providers that you have claims for. Then you can actually sort by any of this category. And also I can filter differently. So if I click on that hyperlink here, age by insurance, I can narrow down, I can look at my patient AR, or I can look at my insurance AR. So let me step back and discuss what I'm about to show you here. Consider this is an interactive AR. So in the old days, we printed aging reports, and it might be 200 pages, it might be 300 pages. We looked at the report. Of course, we wasted all the paper and the ink, and paper and ink extremely expensive. If you're working remotely, which is a lot of people are, your printer at home might not be sufficient enough to print all that paper. So it eliminates your possibility for working remotely. It costs a lot of money to print all that ink and paper, and you need a more expensive printer. Then we start making phone calls. We start logging on the report if I talk to a patient or I talk to an insurance company, I wrote down what happened. If you're in a larger practice, maybe more than one person is doing this, so you have multiple reports floating around in your practice. Then before you know it, the month sneaks up on you. Somebody has to ask questions back and forth. What happened with this? What happened with? But now think of if all that information is at my fingertip, I don't need to print any reports. I can work from my screen. Okay, now.
Sorry, everybody, just give us one moment.
Did I lose my connection? Okay, that was weird. So this is what I highlighted. So when you're working on your computer, you will have both monitors. You have your information on one monitor and your program on another monitor. So this way you're not printing as much as you're probably printing now, and it's very efficient. This particular monitor, and it's affordable if you have bulky or old monitors. That it's the best investment you can make by having those two monitors. Those monitors are kind of hard to find, so I kind of stocked up on them. So if you think you can benefit from this monitor, you can call us and we have in stock for you. It will be the best investment you have. Every person likewise has two monitors like that, and information stays on one screen, the program stays on another screen. This is how you gain efficiency, and it's easier and better for your posters and and you will save a lot of money from all the printing and all that. Okay, so back to here. Think of this as interactive report where I can sort, I can drill down, so I can just go and drill down over here. And again, so I was able to drill down and I can sort again now. Maybe I want to sort in ascending order or descending order. Down again, clicking on a particular insurance company to see what makes up that amount of money. So I am working from a remote location today, and internet is not the best. Okay, so you will see all the patients that within this particular insurance company. Then you can start, if you right click here, you can actually add an AR note. So I can click here and start taking a note. And now that note, you reminder from now, 2 weeks from now, or if you work in a larger practice, other people within your practice will be able to see what you wrote, and you can put things like timestamps. I click on insert and add like a short date or a long date and start writing my message. If the doctor, regardless of your billing company, a doctor or she might surprise you about, are you following up on this claim? Why the claim is not paid yet? You can show the physician or the doctor all the hard work you've been doing. Everybody think that this is easy and everybody's just going after the low-hanging fruit. This is a hard job. We to follow up on AR, and you can log your efforts here. And if anybody ever question you, including yourself, you can see and be proud of yourself of how much you worked on this to collect the money, and you have everything logged. And if you ever get sick or something happen, somebody can pick up where you live. So I would love to see everybody is doing the AR tracker. It's a lot more efficient to follow up than printing aging reports. So this feature has been around now for probably about 4 years. If you don't see it, you can upgrade. You go, if you have an old version and have not upgraded for a while, I highly recommend you should look at the cloud version of the Lytec, where support is included and training is included and included. Never about your backup. It's the best you can do for your practice by taking all the headaches away from your practice. Back to the agenda here. So for the next slide is each CPT code. If you're using electronic remittance, okay, what does that mean? That you have a file that comes from your clearinghouse, and that file is, instead of receiving a paper, I would highly recommend to sign up for electronic remittance, where you get what's called an A35 in a few minutes. Okay. And now you spend time to review it and making sure that the information you just posted is accurate. It doesn't mean if it takes you by 2 hours that the information that you just posted is accurate and the company did not give you a rejection was bogus or unneeded, especially with duplicate claims. A lot of times the insurance company will send you a duplicate claim and write off the claim. And I see a lot of people falling victim into that and just takes the adjustment for the duplicate claims and move on and doing a lot of money. Okay, so what I want you to do is, of course, I want everybody to sign up for electronic remittance if this is something you don't have. When you do that, I want to have your rejection codes match the codes on your ERA or the electronic remittance or the EOBs. What does that mean? That if you get rejected or denied for a particular reason, I want you to have the same code. That I don't want to see something called adjustment. So I see a lot of practices, they use one code, adjustment, and any rejection or any deduction or anything that's going under one code, adjustment, and at the end of the year, you might have adjusted $200,000, but you have no idea why it was adjusted. Okay. In business, I always say what's not measured, it's not managed. So we need to measure each category and find out where we're losing or where we're adjusting the money and find why it happens. And can we do something about stopping having your adjustment codes to match the adjustment that comes on your EOB, for example, the CO 197. So this way, when the ERA comes in, then adjust of CO 197, it will be posted that way. So at the end of the year, month, or the end of the week, or the day, you know how much you wrote off for each category. And this way I can pinpoint if there's something going wrong. If you dump everything, you have no idea why they got adjusted, and it will be very, very consuming to find out if you did something right or wrong. There's something in Lytec that you will be able to have what's called a timely filing. So the timely filing is by insurance company, by payer. So each payer, you will be able to enter a number of days. And on this report, you will be able to see if there's something that you're going to lose of timely filing. So it will be one of the columns. And so let me just step away back into Lytec. And so under the payer, under the claim tab, you will have timely filing. And so you have a number of days for timely filing and a number of days appeals. Because if you get denied, I should be using the right terms. Denies comes from the payer and rejected comes from the clearinghouse. Sometimes we interchange use those two terms, but they're a little bit different. So if you get denied by the payer and you have, to submit the claim, that's what timely filing has. So some insurance company has 90 days, so you better send that claim before the 90 days. Then if you get denied for whatever reason, you have number of days to appeal it. So once you know that information, you should plug it here into the system. So this way you can, when you look at your AR tracker, you can actually see those two fields and you can catch or work. If you only have 5 hours to do some work, okay? You want to maximize 5 hours to recover as much money as possible. So if you have X number of dollars amount is going to disappear if you don't submit certain claims within a particular time, or to appeal certain claims within a certain time. So by knowing that data or by that information, be able to catch any threshold that's the insurance company that will start not paying you because you exceeded that threshold. So if you try to collect that information, it's very important, plug it into the system, and you work with your AR tracker, you will be able to see that information and you'll be able to sort by which ones are crucial and you need to work on it before something else. So you set them give priority because we have limited number of hours that we are dedicated to do, and you want to utilize that number of hours to the best as possible to recover as much money as you can. So this is the timely filing. The other area that, since in the beginning of the year, I want to talk about the deductible season. Okay. So the deductible season, I hate to see practices are afraid to ask patient to pay the deductible. So this is the common things that I see around. Practices, especially with Medicare patients, what they do is they put those claims on hold and they don't send them. Okay, hoping that another doctor is more aggressive or another practice is more aggressive and they're going to collect that money, so I don't have to chase that money from the patient, or I don't have to write it off because the patient made me feel bad that they don't have enough money or that they're so old, they don't work and all of that. We all know that. Okay, so here's my biggest fear. Okay, number one is everybody should be taking credit cards in their practice. And at the beginning of the year, it's perfectly okay to tell somebody, and you can actually check that amount when you're doing eligibility verification. So one of the eligibility verification that you can actually do for your practice, you can find out if the patient met the deductible or not. And if you see that they didn't make the deductible, it's perfectly okay to ask the patient, you have not met your deductible yet. Would you like to get that over with on your credit card? Okay. So this way you made it easy for the patient to pay. You empowered by that information because you're doing eligibility verification, and you improved your cash flow because you'd be surprised how much people are willing to just get it over with. They have to pay it sooner or later. It's actually illegal to write that off. So if you're waiting for another doctor to suck it up and just write it off, it's actually that physician made something illegal. If the patient has a hardship and they have primary as Medicare, likely they'll have secondary as Medicaid, which is you don't have to collect that money anyway if the patient has Medicare and Medicare. So as you, I will make that I accept credit cards in your practice. I will do eligibility verification and find out if the patient met their deductible or not. Then inform the patient and ask them if they like to get their deductible over and charge it on the credit card and move on. Okay, so this way you improve your cash flow. The patient get it off their chest and everyone's happy. From my experience, I see some people are assuming that patient have Medicare and nothing changed. They ask the patients, do you have Medicare? And they say, yeah, because some people are switching to Medicare Advantage, which I hate. If they change to Medicare, you have timely filing of 90 days. It's no longer a year. So don't fall a victim of that, where the patient switched to Medicare Advantage. You are holding on the claim and you don't send it, and oops, you lost tons of money. You don't want to do that. Okay, please, eligibility verification, take your deductible, and if you cannot do that, then at least you know that patient has conventional Medicare, not Medicare Advantage. Okay. And the next topic that I'm going to talk about is a service that we've been offering, and it's been doing great, especially with everything is happening with employment in the United States. So we do have something called a remote billing staff. Some practices are utilizing it. Some billing services are utilizing this. So this is a full-time employee. They're micro-wise employee. They're Lytec trained, certified, and HIPAA trained. For full-time for $525. You don't have to worry about benefits. You don't have to worry about insurance or 401k or dental or medical. We cover all of that. And this will become a part of your staff. This could be covering for somebody on maternity leave, or somebody that you're helping with cleaning up AR, or anything that you need for your practice or your billing service. So this service is doing amazing. And if you need an extra help, I just want you to be aware that we have that. So, finally, we came to the end of the seminar. I'm going to open it for Q&A. You can ask me any questions about the industry, about a problem that you have within your practice. If it's something confidential, you can actually, this is my contact information. You're welcome to call me anytime. So if you want to learn anything in Lytec, just, here's the time. I dedicated this time for you. I will show it to you now if I can. So if you have any question, please speak up. If not, I want to thank you so much for your business. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me today. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.